Today I'm going to be talking about the Batman Hush animated movie from 2019. That's up next. Alright everybody, welcome back, and like I said, today we're going to be talking about a brand new movie that I just saw. It just came out recently from DC Comics, and it is of course a classic. It is one of my favorite Batman stories of all time, and it is Batman Hush. If you have never read Batman Hush, stop watching this, go buy that book. Go read it because it is absolutely phenomenal. It of course was illustrated by the amazing Jim Lee, and again it's one of my favorite Batman stories, and the reason why it always has been one of my favorites is because it not only was the writing creative, but also it brought all of the villains together, which I love. You guys know I love the Rogues Gallery. It's my favorite villains on the planet. The Joker is my favorite, but bringing them all together in such a really unique, creative way was really awesome. It even incorporates Superman. I'm not a giant Superman fan, but I really appreciate the way it was written. So it's always been in my top 5 of all time. Probably, I would say it's probably my 3rd favorite book, maybe even my 2nd favorite. I'm not exactly sure. But from start to finish, it was always just such a classic, and it's known to be a classic. So when I found out that they were going to be making a Hush movie, an animated movie, I got very excited. Now here's my opinion on DC animated movies. I think, quite frankly, most of them are not good. I don't like the animation style, but at least DC has kept it consistent over the last decade or so. But I don't love the animated style that they have been using. They've also been using a lot of the same voice actors, and a lot of them are fine. I, of course, am an animated series guy. I grew up with that. That is the versions of the characters that I like the most. And so getting different voices, that's okay. I understand that they're going to use different voices. I would have liked to have, had Kevin Conroy. I would have liked, of course, Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, of course, to be in those roles, but we didn't get that. And that again is okay. So going into this film, I knew that it was going to be, I think it's like 80 minutes long. I knew that it was going to be a little bit different than the actual story from the comic books. I get that things are adapted. I don't like very often when they are. I don't understand why they have to adapt things so much to stretch it out. But anyway, whatever. DC felt like they needed to do that, and so they did. So for the very first time last night, I watched this movie. I like it, and there are things that I hate about it. And so I'm going to do this. This is going to be a spoiler review. So if you have already seen it, if you haven't, I'm sorry. You can skip to the end and hear my final thoughts. But starting right now, I'm going to be spoiling this movie. So again, I expected the film to be a little bit different, and I was correct. Watching the film, though, I have to say that I really enjoyed the movie. Loving the source material. Putting that aside, this film follows the book fairly closely, at least storyline-wise. There are things that they definitely changed. There's some characters they added. There's some characters they switched around. Killer Croc was in the book, but in the movie it's Bane. There's no Huntress, and she is a big part of the first book. They have Nightwing in the movie. So there's lots of different characters that they incorporated to try to better fit this particular movie, and I think that they did a nice job with that. I feel like from start to finish, it did tell a very good story. I've watched some reviews out there that felt like there were plot points that were missing and things like that, but just as a casual fan watching this, I have to say that I was very impressed with it. There were some big changes, and again, these are spoilers. The biggest change in this entire film is really a love story between Bruce and Salina. And I actually really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it added a lot more to the story. They touch on it in the book, and this just took it one step further. And I found myself really compelled to what Bruce goes through, what he trying to keep everyone away all the time, but then finally allowing himself a little bit of happiness, a little bit of trust, allowing Salina to know who he is finally and bring him into his inner circle and become his partner. And I really like that. I like Catwoman as Batman's partner. I feel like that fits better to me than a Robin. But I've never been a fan of Robin. I've never been a giant fan of Nightwing. Sorry if you're a Nightwing fan out there. But that's just me. I really like the Catwoman character. She's flawed. Bruce trusts her, but he loves her. She loves him. But there's always that dynamic of, if I get too close to you, are you going to be a target? And that's what Bruce fears the most, is losing those people that he's close to. So I really liked the love story. I thought it was a really romantic thing that they brought in, and I think it added a lot to the story. What was a bigger surprise, I feel like that was a nice surprise, but what was a bigger surprise was the ending. Now, if you are a fan of Hush, one thing I loved about Hush is Thomas Elliot. This is a lifelong friend of Bruce Wayne, childhood friend, and he is the one that is Hush. And they're all being kind of manipulated by the Riddler at the very end of the book. Well, this particular one, Hush kills Thomas Elliot. So that's a very big different plot point there. And then at the very end, the actual person that's revealed to be Hush is the Riddler, who has put himself in the Lazarus pit. He has brain tumor. He has basically tried to heal himself. He got super strength. He got super smart. He understood through clarity while he was in the pit who Batman is, being Bruce Wayne, and he targeted him. He knew he could manipulate all of the villains in a certain way, like Poison Ivy, like Joker, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc. I guess not Killer Croc, but it was Bane in this film. So I thought that was very unique as well. Did it make me mad that they changed it that much? Not really, because I wasn't really expecting it to be great in the first place. But in my opinion, this film, even though they did change it, even though they did alter it in kind of a major way, I do feel that it's still worth watching. I feel like out of all of the ones that I've watched in the last 5 or 6 years, again, I don't like the animation style, but this was my favorite one. I felt like I wanted to see more, and usually after 5 or 6 minutes, I'm ready to turn it off. When I saw The Killing Joke, I was really excited about that, and they followed it for the most part pretty well. Of course, they added the Batgirl stuff. If you haven't seen that one, I'll leave that for you to see. But it was just, I was expecting more. But this particular film, I found myself from start to finish really enjoying it. Again, the ending was kind of a surprise, definitely a different take, but it's a take that made sense. So I look at them as being, they kind of complement each other, really. I feel like both of them, you could view it, you could see it and enjoy it. I still prefer the comic book. I still, just that art alone, I prefer. And that is probably my biggest complaint of this entire film. I enjoyed the film, but my biggest complaint is the animation. It was very well done in a lot of scenes. I still prefer the animated series style better. If it was even in that style, I would have preferred it. But what I want is, I want these films to duplicate the art style of the artist from the comic books. I want the movie to look like Jim Lee drew it. Okay? I think a lot of fans out there really would like that. I understand that probably would cost a little bit more, or if they added CGI elements to it, it would cost more. But the reason why we love those books, incredible storytelling, yes, but also because of the art. It's what draws us in. When I look at Lee Bermejo and Damned, I want a Damned that looks like that. And I know it's going to be hard to do, but DC, come on, this is what the fans want, Give us that type of animation style, and I think that these things would fly off the shelf. I know that I would own all of them. If I had a Long Halloween that looked like Tim Sale and it looked like his drawings, and it's just incredible, I would love it, because it's taken from the source material and bringing it to life. Okay? This is what I want from a DC film. If you guys out there agree with me, please give this video a thumbs up. I want to show DC that this is what people want. This is what we want from an animated film. We want to celebrate the source material, and even if you add to it, that's fine, but make it look like the books. okay? Make it look like the books. Overall, again, I think that this was a very watchable film. I was really impressed with it. I'm glad I don't own it. I borrowed it. I probably will go out and buy it though, because it is one that I do feel like deserves to be rewatched. It was very well done, and again, I really appreciate the romance, the love story between Bruce and Salina in this film, and again, that constant conflict of Batman bringing somebody in that he cares about. Catwoman wants to kill, and Batman, again, he just can't. It is his rule. He cannot break it, and it is what causes friction between him and Salina, and that's ongoing, and I really appreciate that because it's been that way a long time in the comics. I really like it. So overall, I give this one probably, I'm going to say a 7.5 out of 10. Is it perfect? No. Is it my favorite animation style? No. But I do feel like it's watchable. And I know a lot of you out there that have talked to me about this film. You said, I do not like it. I hate it because they changed the source material. I get that. But if you look at it as a standalone, if you look at it as just a good Batman story, I still think it works. They took some things, they borrowed some things from the books, and they added some things. I get it. I didn't mind it. There were some things that I wish they would have done differently, of course, but I do feel like it's watchable. So I definitely recommend go out and watch it. Wait till it comes out on Netflix or whatever, but check it out at least once. I think you're going to enjoy it more than you think you will. Don't let negative reviews get you down. I know a lot of times people just put those out there for shock value and to get views, but I really feel like you should at least give this film a chance. Watch it once. If you love it, let me know down below if you've already seen it. If you hate it and you think I'm insane for liking it, please give me a comment down below to let me know that you disagree. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your comments, just because I really did enjoy it. It's not perfect, but it's still worth your time. As always, guys, thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, if this is the first review you've ever watched or the first time you've ever been to this channel, please consider giving me a subscribe. Also, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. We do a lot of unboxing reviews, Batman related content, statue chats, live chats, all kinds of stuff on this channel. So I thank you guys very much for sticking with me for 13 minutes here watching this. So thank you guys so very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the Batcave.